It's now night 3 of T-shirt gate. The protection racket in the media and in politics is firmly kicking in behind Albanese, and the heat is turning on Sussan Ley, despite the fact he's in the wrong and she isn't. Now, to recap, on Monday night, I reported that Anthony Albanese knew the cruel meaning of the Joy Division T-shirt he wore as he stepped off the VIP plane from Washington. Yet he wore it anyway. He was told by esteemed podcaster Nigel Marsh that it related to a wing in a concentration camp where Jewish women were sex slaves to the Nazis. We're talking rape and sexual abuse. And that wing was called the Joy Division. Now, it's difficult to believe the Prime Minister would choose to wear this T-shirt given he knows the meaning of the name. So that was Monday night. Now, as I've said repeatedly, when I first saw him wearing the T-shirt, I wasn't fired up about it. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. But then it emerged that he did know the meaning of the band name. As I said, Nigel Marsh told him. And worse, Albanese asked Nigel to delete this fact from his podcast.
I'm sorry for giving you that piece of dark background.
You should edit that out of the podcast just for the sake of the listeners, I think, so that they can continue to enjoy it. But they were so dark.
So Albanese, the Prime Minister, and at the time this podcast came out, it was April 2022, he was campaigning to be the PM, and he asked Nigel Marsh to delete the part about what Joy Division means. Now, Sussan Ley, after seeing my report, she said that Albanese showed poor judgment, that he should apologise. She raised the issue in Parliament right before question time on Tuesday.
The Prime Minister of this country, in full knowledge of the meaning behind the name of this band, should choose to wear this T-shirt is an insult to all, and it fails the basic tests of leadership. He should apologise immediately.
Yet Albanese is refusing to apologise, and somehow it's now Sussan Ley who's under pressure. Now, is this the biggest deal in the world? No, of course it's not. Is this Albanese's biggest crime? Hardly. But it is still a story, and it does matter. The Prime Minister knew the meaning of the band name, and he chose to wear it when disembarking from the most important trip of his career. Now, I can reveal that senior Jewish leaders have expressed their disappointment. The rabbi at Sydney's prestigious Central Synagogue, Rabbi Levi Wolf, told me this. He said, considering the anti-Semitism crisis in this country, I don't see that it is in the PM's interest to offend our precious Australian Holocaust survivors, the highest number in the world per capita. The rabbi says, mate, throw away the T-shirt, offer a sincere apology, and be done with it. That's Rabbi Wolf from Central Synagogue in Sydney. Now, in Melbourne, Caulfield Synagogue's rabbi, Danielle Rabin, told me this. I'm sure the Prime Minister didn't intend to cause offence, but this moment is a reminder of how important historical awareness is, especially at a time when anti-Semitism is rising. Symbols and names can carry deep and painful meanings for many in the Jewish community. What matters now is that we continue to promote understanding and sensitivity so that we build a society grounded in respect and unity. And Rabbi on Demand's Yossi Friedman also agrees. He said, most people don't realise that Joy Division refers to a Nazi term for enslaved Jewish women in the Holocaust. Even if unintentional, symbols like that carry deep pain, and leaders should be mindful of the messages their choices send, especially in these times of increased anti-Semitism. Wise words from all three rabbis. And the Australian Jewish Association's Chief Executive Robert Gregory also said this might have been excused as a harmless wardrobe choice, except the Prime Minister was previously made aware of the dark origins of the band's name. It's hard to imagine him disregarding such a warning and wearing something that could offend any other minority group. And if he did, we can be sure an apology would follow swiftly. He says, sadly, this fits a familiar pattern. The Prime Minister has too often downplayed the concerns of the Jewish community, and this latest incident only reinforces that impression. Now, like I said, this isn't the biggest deal in the world, but it does matter. This isn't an average Australian wearing an offensive T-shirt. It's our Prime Minister landing back in Australia fresh after meeting the President of the United States. And he asked, as I told you last night, he asked the media not to film him as he disembarked the plane. He didn't want to be filmed in the T-shirt. Now, this goes to his character. Even ardent Joy Division fans tell me they'd never buy or wear the T-shirt. And even the podcaster Nigel Marsh said in that podcast that he struggles with support for their music. Now, this is all pretty obvious. It shouldn't be a difficult topic. And radio host Ben Fordham today called on the Prime Minister just to say sorry.
I don't think an apology's out of the question, and I'm gobsmacked that the Prime Minister has not taken the tip and turfed the T-shirt. The PM's conversation with the podcast host was not your run-of-the-mill conversation. He was genuinely shocked to hear that one of his favourite bands is named after a wing of a Nazi concentration camp, a place where women were attacked and abused and faced horrific acts of humiliation. But Albo went ahead and wore the shirt anyway. And he hasn't commented on this. He hasn't apologised yet. I think he should.
Imagine if a Liberal MP wore a T-shirt that's offensive to a minority group. What if it were a Kanye West T-shirt? The left would be going nuts. Albanese just wanted to be the cool leader wearing a band T-shirt after a meeting with the President. He wanted to be DJ Albo. He loves that image.
I wear band shirts all the time when I can. These days, I've got to say, one of the downsides, I'm much more comfortable in a South Sydney shirt or a band shirt and jeans than I am in a suit and tie, I've got to say.
Keeping it real.
But it's part of the job is I spend my life in a suit and tie.
Yeah, he's so cool, isn't he? But Albanese has been exposed for trying to hide a dark chapter in history. Just delete it from the podcast. And the left, along with Sussan Ley's enemies, are scrambling to make excuses for him yet again. Except there are no excuses. As Ben Fordham says, just apologise, mate, and throw out the T-shirt.